Well, good evening, Alabama fans, college football fans, my boy Petty, Week 0 Sports and Other Stuff co-host, and Justin Riley from the Bama Standard podcast Tuesday nights.
Come on,
Justin, I got to say right off the cuff, did we play to the Bama Standard tonight? Was this good enough for you guys?
Let me start by introducing everyone to this show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the University of Alabama proudly presents the SEC champions of the world, the Alabama Crimson Tide. Roll Tide, baby.
Roll Tide, Justin. Roll Tide. And we did talk about this morning, where did you get that belt? We all want one, right? It doesn't matter what sport you're in. A belt means you're a champion. So you obviously won something.
I've been wanting to do this since the game. Motherfucking Jones has already hopped on. I made a case. And look, I still, the guy behind me would love some Matt Corral and the Heisman, but after tonight, baby, you got to give the man with the stiff arm to one guy. He earned it tonight against the best defense ever. Put up more points in one quarter than any team had in all year in a game. In one quarter in the second quarter. Man, Bryce Young was special tonight, gentlemen. Special. That kid's the real gosh damn
Bryce
deal.
Heisman Young is what his name is now. He gets to be on commercials. And now that NIL is a thing, I bet he gets to be the first college quarterback that's on one of those Heisman House commercials. What do y'all think about that?
Oh, man. He's dude just had him a night.
All right, first off, how many of you guys are watching this morning? You all better be hitting that like button and the subscribe. We need it real quick before we get started. And we weren't too far off in our analysis. Did anybody notice that?
Gino Trella having PTSD tonight. Did he watch
Not
it?
at
Son
all.
of a bitch, man.
Earlier in the week, people said we didn't belong. We didn't stand any chance. Hell, we probably shouldn't even show up to this damn game. We better call in and get some flowers sent to this funeral Alabama's going to. Ha! What the hell's up now?
Again, unfortunately. And you know what? Go Dogs. Y'all played a hell of a game. This was the best team you ran up against all year. We pointed that out earlier today. My guy 9, he did some work. I don't know if anybody saw that little flip pass.
That little slide of hand.
Dude, that was
beautiful.
That was beautiful. Now, do we get it? Can we get a roll call on all the haters out there who didn't think we were good enough this year and now are probably pretty damn happy to be Bama fans?
Yeah, I
right?
guess all those tight games don't matter.
No, it helps. That stuff helps, and it showed tonight. It helps to get tested. Georgia didn't get tested all year.
Look, man, I said it this morning. There's something special about that crimson. And when the biggest lights shine on the biggest stage, I don't care, man. And Georgia hadn't caught a haymaker all year. We've said it on our podcast. We've said it on shows. What happens when Georgia catches that haymaker? And you know who can throw haymakers? Alabama Crimson Tide. Damn it, man. They were slinging them tonight, and Georgia could not counterpunch. Kirby started panicking like he always does late in the game. Daddy got in his head, and he started to panic. And it was
mobile quarterbacks. Okay, first off, something to Jameis Williams, man. Come on. That guy was a stud tonight. Mechie, until he got hurt. I hope it's just a minor sprain on the knee, right?
Yeah,
because, dude,
absolutely.
that guy, having those two guys on the field makes a difference, and we need that for the playoffs, but we got a few weeks to heal, guys.
Hey, good call, motherfucking Jones. Look, Bama had the benefit of playing in the SEC West. They got forged by damn fire and brimstone this year while Georgia was cakewalking their asses on the way up to this game, and everybody was sucking on their teat. And then again, telling Alabama, you can't beat this team. They're too good.
You know who Georgia didn't play? They didn't play Ole Miss. They didn't play Texas A&M. They didn't play Mississippi State.
Nope.
No,
3 teams with arguably the best offenses in the SEC besides Alabama.
Yeah.
And then they did play Alabama.
They did today.
Till tonight.
They did today.
I have to give flowers to Doug Marrone right now. He's been much maligned the entire year, rightfully so. The offensive line has struggled, to put it mildly. And then last week, of course, they were a turnstile until Seth McLaughlin and Chris Owens came in relief. And people thought we had no chance, but what a tremendous job by Doug Marrone preparing these guys for the very game. The player of the game has to go to the offensive line. Good grief, man!
Dude, there were a couple. They ran a couple like stunts on the line that I thought were going to blow us up like they have all year. And damned if we didn't pick them up and Bryce would throw a touchdown. It was amazing. I mean, this is the team I was looking to see, man. This is what happens when you give Alabama points. When you make them, you gave them a chip on our shoulder. Like we don't get that very often. It's been what 3 years, 4 years since we've been an underdog.
Entire coaching staff, though, from A to Z, man. O'Brien's game plan tonight, even Pete Golden, man, the defense did what they needed to do in that first half to do exactly what we said. You shut down the run, force Bennett into a game that he's not used to, and then again, we asked the question, what's the best quarterback that Georgia's faced, and it was the kid tonight. And, man, you got to give credit. All around, Bama coaches did what Bama coaches do tonight.
If you guys know anyone that's like a big part of a Renaissance festival that has a lot of crows on hand, we need to drive a lot of those down to the state of Alabama to let our fan base have a bite. Because Pete Golding had a game plan tonight. B.O.B. dropped the bombs over Baghdad tonight. We did it. No, both coordinators brought the game to the table, and they deserve credit.
I do want to give that one shout-out laugh to me eating one big bite of crow on the very first special teams play of the night by your boy Williamson. He just streaks down there and makes the play. And like,
see, Petty, he heard what you said, man. And Saban, like I said this morning, we're going to create value for these players. And Jameson Williams shows that he has value not only returning that rock, but he has value knocking the ever-living hell out of returners.
Petty responded to my text. He said, I was waiting on this because as soon as Jameson Williams made that play on that punt, I was immediately to the phone trying to get Petty to make sure he knew I saw that. 27 shades of wrong
was I. Yes, I got it. But look, man, Jameson, let's talk about that kid for a second. If we're going to recap this game, he has – if he wasn't, I got a text. I'm on we're on 27 different group texts, and another one's a buddy of mine from Mississippi, the coach that was on our show. He said if he wasn't one of the top 3 receivers at Ohio State, good gracious alive, man. He has a gear. Oh man, when he hits the sideline, it's.
Imagine if kids like Olave had come to Alabama, how good they'd be.
Olave,
fire.
When he hit Williamson in stride on that bomb, man, that's where you say, "Woo!"
If you don't give that kid the Blitnikoff, something's seriously wrong with you as a voter, because he is heads and tails above any of his other competition right now.
How many catches over 20 or 30 yards? They threw the graphic up during the game, and it kind of blew my mind a little bit. That dude has been a lethal weapon, and we missed him last week against Auburn. Let's be honest.
No doubt. By the way, Bama is leading Gonzaga now.
Oh, no, I'm watching right now. We're 23-20, and we missed that 3. But yeah, so I've got live stuff going on here. We can't show this, unfortunately, on the stream.
And we've got Iowa driving on Michigan right now. They're deep into the red zone, 3rd and 5 from the 13-yard line early on in that game.
So everybody that was here this morning in the chat, we've got a few people. Anitra, we've got Thunderstruck, we got motherfucker Jones. This Waylon the President fella's brand new. I don't know if I've seen that one in there.
He is from the Bama Standard, more importantly, Touchdown Alabama magazines, in my own words chat. One of Steven's great followers, huge fan of ours. Glad to have him here tonight. Excited.
Well, I want to hear from those guys right now.
Hey,
how did it go? Expectations versus results. How do you feel? Is everyone, starting to believe? Do y'all think we can win the national title after this game? I mean, we beat Georgia.
Well, first, before I answer that, Jameson Williams had an average of 26.3 yards per catch.
Oh God!
Yeah,
man. He's
let that marinate.
I'll eat crow on saying what I said about him on special teams, but I did say when you asked in the predictions today, I said I thought he was going to be a key to Alabama stretching that secondary in a way that Georgia hadn't today, and man, did he ever! You just said it, 23 yards a catch. That's something Georgia hadn't seen all year. Kid special, man, and to answer your question, Michael, after a game like that you ride that momentum all the way to a everybody in the country just took you heard the sigh. That was the sigh from the rest of the country at the end of that game. Said,
shit, there's going to be a lot of commentators that decide Bama's the greatest team ever now that just started talking shit about us for the last 7 days.
Stephen Campbell, we have got an Auburn fan on here who said, you guys are talking about all the haters. He said the majority of the haters are your own fans. And
dead on, Stephen Campbell. Nailed it right
Auburn
there.
Guys
I am so into that. I took a lot of flack this week on the message boards for being an optimist, to be perfectly honest.
Anitra, you did tell us this morning, absolutely, and we'll gladly admit that for sure. But yeah, as far as the national championship, guys, if we continue to play with this kind of intensity, there's no doubt that we'll be not only in the game but also win that game.
Well, look, I'm going to give you my predictions right now. This is how it's going to end. Michigan's going to pull this game out. They're going to come in at number 2. Georgia's going to be number 3, and you're going to get Cincy squeezing in at number 4. And Cincy, who, for as long as I can remember, has been holding up signs that say, we want Bama, is finally going to get some Bama.
Oh, that'll be interesting, man.
They've
been wanting some Bama.
You don't think that
they're a good squad? No, they are a look, it's hard to win 12 games in a row in any level. So they're
even
a good squad.
Even homecoming conference?
They did beat Notre Dame, who everybody knows is the best
Everybody
team in the
beats
history of
Notre
the
Dame at some point. Come on,
I mean, the only thing better than beating Ohio State is beating Notre Dame. We all knew this.
I actually got respect for Notre Dame. I don't have any respect for Ohio State. None.
Well, wow, I had respect for Ohio State before.
I've always
John Hall
ran at the ground.
2-ball John Hall in his house.
All right, this is DJ John Hall. Y'all need to get to know him. 2-ball. Count him.
He did 2-ball DJ John Hall. Dude, man, it is a look. It's
all right, Waylon, the president. Michigan will lose. All right, Justin. We talked about this morning. You've seen the game starting to play out a little bit. You have it on the screen, I hope, over on the side. How's it going so far? And do you think Michigan's going to be able to pull that shit out?
They're going to win.
I think they will. I mean, this is call it what it is. They have more horses, and as good as Iowa's defense is, I think that Michigan's running game is just going to wear them down. And I don't think that Iowa's going to be able to move the ball against that defense. Aiden Hutchinson is going to make their lives a living nightmare. Let's just call it what it is.
Look, I'm going to tell you, game of the century to me is going to be Georgia versus Michigan. Those two teams are mirror images of each other. I mean, there's a little bit of a talent differential at Georgia, but I think Michigan actually – look, they got the best cornerbacks in the country.
And look, Georgia's quarterback. Look, Michigan can give Georgia a game. I'm not outside the realm that we couldn't see a Michigan-Alabama national title if that's how all the cookies crumble.
Man, Saban versus khaki pants. You gotta love it.
Man, it is it's a storyline for sure.
Yeah, it is. It is.
There needs to be a new shirt made saying "Fire Gary Danielson." I'm all for it, man. Listen, Gary Danielson eating crow tonight is beautiful.
Well, look.
Not only did we don't like to hear another peep from him until next season, but we ended this season on the right note by giving him a huge dose of "shut the hell up."
Well, for the Georgia fans out there, what went wrong?
They lived a lie.
I tried to do that with straight face.
They lived a lie. Well, the biggest thing, like you said earlier, is that they had no competition this entire year. They didn't have any they didn't have anybody that was testing them and taking them to the wire. They faced no adversity, and if you don't face any kind of adversity, how do you know how to overcome it? And Saban always preached that.
I'm going to be the devil's advocate, and I hate being this because I'm very proud right now, but we just exposed some of their weaknesses. We were the team that just showed them a few of their things. Now, did we give them the blueprint? Did we give them, what they needed to fix it against us coming up? And the next time that we end up possibly having to play them, if we get past that scrappy little Cincinnati team and they make this Michigan team, maybe Michigan team, it's looking sketchy. But anyway, it might be this Michigan team. So if they are able to pull that off, it's going to be another tough battle. I'm not going to go in that game cocky. I liked our chances because we had already been beat. They had the pressure on them. And going into this game, it's going to be more of an even up.
Say what, though, if Michigan does lose, who the hell do they put in there?
Silence.
Notre Dame without a coach?
I don't think so. Is it Baylor? Baylor. Baylor would be the first 2-loss team going in if that happens.
But Notre Dame's a one.
Well, Ole Miss is ranked ahead of Baylor. Of course,
but Notre Dame's not a champion of a conference, and their one loss is to the
that's
team
true.
that's in.
And
I feel like that's the leg to stand
Trump
on.
card, yeah, trump card. You got conference championship, and also too, if you look at their quality wins, they have how many wins against top-ranked opponents this year?
I wish somebody would have told me Baylor was playing some redshirt freshman that had played 2 games today that was going to complete his first 17 passes, and I might not have taken fucking Oklahoma State. That sucks.
Yeah, that's why there's no such thing as WTFs in the conference championships. We learn our lessons sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, Michigan just put one in the end zone, guys. It's got back out. Here we go. Y'all, hail to the victors. We're going to see it. This is what it is. It's going to be number 1, Bama. Number 2, Michigan. Number 3, Georgia, because they're going to give the Big Ten a little whatever because it doesn't matter. And then Cincy's going to squeeze in and get Bama.
Fun fact, Hail to the Victors was my high school fight song, which was also the high school fight song of one B-Rob, running back for Crimson Tide. So,
Waylon, the president, buddy, I am watching this 31-23
to
matchup as well. We're giving the juggernaut that is Gonzaga all they want right now, guys.
What's the score in that Bama-Zag game?
31-23. 31-23 Bama. And we're getting offensive rebounds and kind of controlling the clock.
We're about to shut down the world.
24-23.
We're about to shut down the world.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Chet Holmgren, or whatever his name is, the guy that was the number 1 basketball. I hate to jump into basketball for 1 second, but that guy's not as good as he planned to be. He's kind of too lanky. He doesn't have any weight on him. We're killing him inside. Back to football. Justin.
Hey.
If we do match up against Cincinnati, what do you think is going to happen?
I think you're going to have a lot of happy people, to be honest with you. Alabama has the opportunity to shut them down.
And they get the opportunity to make their case, right?
They do. It's going to be an interesting matchup when we start to have we have the opportunity to break it down, if indeed we are playing Cincinnati in the first round game. It'd be interesting to see how they can match up. I don't think they have the firepower offensively to really hang with Alabama, especially if Bryce Young gets hot. If it's a situation where it's a shootout, I don't think that Cincinnati is going to have the horses to play catch up with Alabama. But
your thoughts, Petty? You're an outsider looking in.
Hey, one interesting little nugget would be pretty cool because their running back Jerome Ford actually transferred from Alabama.
I don't know, man.
I remember him.
Fickle's done a good job.
So he's going to have a grudge.
It's one of those things that I've watched them a lot. They're really good. Like you made the comment, they're undefeated. That's a hard thing to do in any league. But, man, it's every time that this happens, it's until one of those teams, and I know Boise did it so many. Everybody always likes to point out the one time 25 years ago now that Boise did it against Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl. But 99 times out of 10, when Chimichang from Hawaii goes up in the Sugar Bowl, they get killed. Or when Cincinnati, all these teams play against the teams like Alabama, Georgia, whatever, they get smashed. So I'm with Justin. I do think they have the offense, but not the offense to play with a team like Alabama. I think Alabama will out-athlete them. Yes.
Yeah. Well, but as long as Alabama's dialed in and doesn't overlook them, and
they're not.
That's impossible for the playoff. If you get beat in the playoff, you can't say you overlooked. Like if they beat us in the playoff, there's no excuses.
What I'm saying is that this entire year there have been several games, like I mentioned in the show this morning, where Alabama's been a heavy favorite, and we just kind of sleptwalked through those games. But today, when you see Alabama as an underdog, you see the true character and heart of Alabama. That's the type of Alabama that needs to go into the playoff, especially against a Cincinnati that's trying to prove that they belong.
Look, practice is a little bit easier when you're worried, when you think that somebody's got a chance to beat you. That's going to make you focus a little better. You're not going to get to thinking about your girlfriend or whatever it is that sidetracks 18-year-old kids. You know what I mean?
And I think everybody misinterprets games like the Iron Bowl. Oh, boy, that just showed that Alabama can't play with a team like Georgia. It showed that Alabama can continue to find ways to win football.
Alabama can beat a bunch of kids from Alabama. And that was the thing. Like, again, that is a huge advantage in that game because most of the kids at Auburn are from Alabama.
Oh, absolutely. And they made that point today on SEC Nation. I think it was Feinbaum, Roman Harper said, they barely beat Auburn. And he said, first of all, that's not the same team that barely beat Auburn. If you're thinking that going into this game, you're going to be sadly mistaken. But going through that game helps you tremendously. So, yeah.
I didn't want to jinx it. I took the money line. I'm sorry.
Credit to Auburn. Auburn played a hell of a game. But Hey, man, I appreciate it, Brother P. You even think we're better than Porky's? I know that's one of your favorites.
Woo!
So we're best show on the tube.
Well, listen, we need some questions from you guys out there in YouTube land, in the audience. What did y'all think about the game? Is there anything y'all are worried about going into the playoffs? How do y'all feel about playing Georgia again? Let us know, or we're going to go hang out with our wives.
I did see
it's Petty's anniversary.
Yeah, I did see one scroll about asking about the running back situation. I mean, you've got a month, you've got 4 weeks now to get B-Rob's hamstring. That should be hopefully enough. He played better than I thought he would and looked a lot better than I thought he would tonight on what he had. So if he looked as good as he did tonight on a week's rest, I'm assuming in 4 weeks, 3-4 weeks, B-Rob's going to be ready to go. So I think and look, man, a second game in a row that you had Trey come in and look, God, and I don't know what happened to him at the end of the game, but
concussion, dude. I told you, he just ended that guy. They went head to head, and that was concussion city. He'll be fine. He'll have to come back. But I'm going to tell you something, man. They keep giving that guy some yoga. He's starting to look a little bit more limber. He is looking like a hell of a running back, and he tries harder than anybody on the field, and that's what I care about.
And I really had hoped in this game to have seen him get some more touches because he looked really good when he had the opportunity. He looked very explosive. And when we needed big plays, he made them. But hats off to B-Rob, though, on one good leg. Was still doing his thing, moving piles,
absolutely,
getting first downs. Man, hats off! It's true warrior.
Well, he's a Hillcrest Patriot, man. That's what they make.
Mr. Westroy. Okay, thanks for being a friend of Week 0. First off, you got a great post here, but I'm going to tell you something. I was flying home one time in 2008 from somewhere in the middle of nowhere to Nashville, and there were these 2 Michigan fans on the field, and they were like, man, I'm so glad we're not having to play Ohio State again. I'm glad we're playing Florida. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, Florida went in there and handed them their ass. So I don't ever get in that I'd rather not play this team or the other team because anybody that gets in these top 4 is going to be worthy. Everybody knows that. So, let's be careful. If they make it again, let's take them. Let's get them again. Let's do 2. Let's do 2. Let's end it right here. I'm scared a little bit, too.
You just want to keep beating up on poor Kirby, huh? Do it.
I said I'm scared a little bit, too.
Are you scared a little bit, too, man?
Sure, I don't want to play Georgia again. Look, dude, I think our advantage was they hadn't been exposed. We exposed them today. They're going to do just what we did when people exposed us. They're going to fix their damn weaknesses, and we're going to have to play them again. Now, they're going to have to play a new quarterback because that dude ain't it. But I think JT Barrett sitting there. I don't know if y'all saw him giving pep talks to Stetson or JT Daniels. Yeah, I don't know if y'all saw him giving pep talks to Stetson over there. Like I was like, when are they going to put him in?
Kirby is mentally broken by Coach Saban. He's done.
Good.
And I honestly thought at some point that we were going to see JT Daniels. I just kept sitting back and just waiting and waiting and waiting. But he didn't do it. He stuck with Stetson Bennett. So give him that. But yeah, we pretty much rendered Georgia's offense helpless, except for Brock Bowers. Like I said, that was a big key to the game for me. But
that guy was fantastic.
God.
Wow, I want him on our team. The transfer portal's open, Brock. You can get a great NIL over in Tuscaloosa. Come on, son. I bet you number 19 might play a little harder if you were on our team. Now he's good. Let's get him right. Like he made a couple plays today, but I mean, yeah. At least he's back. At least he's back.
Man, I still need that old Jaleel Billingsley to show up.
I do want the old Jaleel Billingsley, and when he used to show up was like postseason. So watch this dude come on out.
Tell you what,
like
man,
it seems like almost everybody we point at shows out. Right?
Latu had a hell of a catch early in the game where he snagged one through a window. See him, or Latu, or however you say his name, man. You see him targeted a few more times.
Are you talking about Mechie?
Hard to bitch it.
Yeah.
Oh no, we can't watch the live show right now. Can't watch it. So it sounds like Saban just said Mechie's out for this. Please tell me that's not true. Heartbreaker. Y'all are seeing sadness happen at live right here. Love that.
I would love to actually go through a game without having an injury, for the love of God.
No doubt. Well, look, the good thing is, when you're stacking 5 stars, we've got depth, and it takes a little bit of experience for these guys to figure it out, but it seems like they are doing it. And look, again, I got to give credit to the coaches in this point, man. Like, they've had a lot of adversity. Usually players having adversity is a big deal. I mean, the coaches had to deal with a lot of loss this year, and they've pulled it together. So I'm going to be the one guy over in the corner saying, way to go, Bob, way to go, Pete Golding. I'll stop calling you Third and Golding today. I'm done with it.
By the way, did we get a count of how many times Jordan Davis had to go to the sideline and get some oxygen?
Good gracious. My favorite when they were showing the highlights of the plays he just stood in one spot. Like, man, how do you grade the offensive lineman on that? Does he get credit for the block or, what?
I got to point this out before we close it down, guys. What are the odds that the guy who picks what replay they show on CBS is a closet Bama fan? Because they zoom in on the holding calls that they don't call, and they put it right in front of Gary, and he has to somehow fumble around being like, oh, well, they're not tackling Will Anderson right there or whatever. Like, how awesome has that been? Like, kudos to the replay guy.
Wes came on the show with us earlier this year. He's the coach in Mississippi that coached Ja Hunter, and, he's a defensive coach, so he's telling y'all better get off Golding. Dude, look, after the Auburn game, how can
that Auburn game was fantastic.
Auburn game, and then tonight, Golding,
I've had one problem with Golding. It was last year's Ole Miss game. Like that was the only time I really had a problem with him. I've been, medium with the guy this year. As the years progressed, we have gotten better, and I have been standing up saying, "Look, this defense is getting better." People keep asking me, "What defense?" I'm like, "Look, the corners are starting to lock down." Granted, Josh Jobe has to give people 10 yards of space to play football, but that's fine. We're doing fine without it.
If we're on TV like we are on the screen, I'm pointing down at Justin though, because Justin.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I figured out now that I can point at the face.
We do not, because it is good TV. Hey, but speaking of that secondary, gotta give props to DeMarco Hellams. The past few games, man, a guy that we have heavily criticized has really shown up in the games that matter the most. And tonight, he makes some super plays, man.
Aggressive play on the ball early on. That was good. And Gary Danielson kept trying to say the receiver did something wrong on that play. No, jumped the route, man. I hate hearing that crap.
Waylon, I don't necessarily agree that Kool-Aid looked bad. I think he had a lot of bad calls thrown his way.
Look,
it was unreal the amount of flaggage we were getting.
The two plays you're thinking about, Waylon, I'm going to tell you, if you go back and watch those, you're going to find out that they were both bad throws by Stetson Bennett.
Absolutely.
And Kool-Aid had the guy covered up, and they turned around to come back, and he wasn't able to react to it. Like, as a freshman, that kind of stuff's expected a little bit. That dude is phenomenal. Nobody covers that close. Like, what other corner do we have that's that tight on a receiver when the ball's coming in? Just look at that. Look at the pros.
And he was covering George Pickens, a guy that is headed to the NFL, probably going to be a first-round guy. So, again, against a big-time receiver like Treylon Burks, now George Pickens, he held his own, and I thought he did pretty well.
Until the end of the night, until that big tight end started eating stuff up over the middle, the secondary played really well.
Dude, Alabama's putting up back-to-back SEC championship passing yard records. I didn't know that one. That's another great fact coming in from the comment section. Way to go, guys.
Nice.
Yeah, look at that. We got muscles to James there. Well done. Good call, guys.
And it was amazing that we destroyed all of Georgia's defensive numbers in the first half.
Guys, do you know what we did?
In one quarter.
You know what we did?
First quarter, you didn't do nothing.
We passed to open up the run, just like we talked about this morning. It's like we were sitting in the game plan session, guys. I mean, it was like, look, don't try to run at this defense. Yeah. Pass, open up the run. And what happened? After we threw the ball around a little bit, you can run on a defense that's on its heels, man. Yep. We ran the ball on Georgia today, y'all.
Yeah. It wasn't like spectacular. We did just enough, and it was effective.
Hey, I bet it was 3 digit number.
I think who made the point this morning about Bryce Young using his legs, and he did, and look what happened.
Well, he did look good using his legs tonight.
Thanks, guys.
Sure
did.
I appreciate it. Hey, there was one play specifically. Oh my God, he completely shook a defender, and I hope he had ankle insurance because they were probably
broke my ankles at home on my couch.
Yeah. And apparently he's a hungry hippo world champion, because how the hell he got that ball out from the Georgia dudes that were everybody. I mean, Georgia dudes were swarming, and it was further out of his reach.
That fumble recovery might have been the Heisman moment.
Hungry hippo.
Yes,
and good stuff.
Yes, Anitra Raby, we shredded the hell out of the defense.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually don't allow cussing around here. You got to get that shit out of here. We do not allow that.
What the hell's wrong with you? Act like you've been here before. Not kidding.
Yeah, no worries at all. No, you're great. Appreciate we comments, everybody.
We're not politically correct at all. We are not. We are amateurs, and hey, we try to bring a breath of fresh life.
Well, look, guys, we ran 29 minutes and 8 seconds. We've got to shut it down in 50 seconds. I'm so sorry, y'all. Roll Tide, everybody. Give him the last 10 seconds in there. My man Petty, this guy right here. It's his anniversary today, and his wife allowed him 20 minutes, and we are 50% over that time. So, Petty, tell us what's up.
Hey, Roll Tide, man. This is awesome.
I just noticed your Bama shirt. Roll fucking Tide, Petty. Well done, buddy.
Hey,
that
man.
makes me smile. That makes my heart warm.
Look, I got a degree from the capstone, so tonight I'm going to relish. It feels good to be a champion. Feels good to be a champion. Roll Tide.
I was worried to point this out this morning, but I do believe it still holds true, everybody.
Hey.
We will see you all at our podcast on Thursday, at Justin's Tuesday night Bama Standard, and Saturday morning for the Saturday morning cocktail kickoff. Thanks, everybody. Hit the like button right now. Subscribe to both channels. If you're subscribed to Justin Riley, come on over and subscribe to Week 0. And if you're on Week 0, you get over to Justin Riley Network and you subscribe to both of us. Support the team, y'all, and we will see you soon.
Yes, roll Tide.
Roll Tide. And Petty, you going to throw a hottie toddy out there?
Oh, yeah, hottie toddy, man. Beat Memphis today.
All right. We're going to see you guys later.
I'll see you on the Peach Bowl now. Oh, Sugar Bowl.